Welcome to a brand new YouTube video. I know I usually talk about the week during the week, but it's actually Saturday right now, just because Sheffield just happened. And I knew I was going to talk about this a lot, so I figured not to take up the whole video with shit that you guys probably already heard about. But this week's training is going well. We have primary bench that we're going to go head to right now, but very, very good. I slept on my stomach, I think, Thursday night, and my back is just like feeling weird. It doesn't hurt to lift or anything, which is good, but I'm just being very, very cautious about that. So, Sheffield just finished up, and I'm going to start by saying this. It was going to be the most exciting Sheffield to begin with, and it turned out to be the least exciting Sheffield of all time. I had very high hopes based on the roster and what was expected, the storylines, everything in between that this Sheffield was going to encompass, and it didn't deliver. I just finished it, and I'm just like, that was so unsatisfactory. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to take it. Like, so many things happened, but I'm just like, okay, cool. The only thing that we knew happened, that we knew was going to happen, was Perkins was going to win. We all know Perk was going to win. Let's be honest. He was talking about 900 because he was confident. He had the efforts to back it up. Like, he's always been holding back. You know it was there. We all know it's there. So I'm starting with that. He could go to 83, compete with Joe if he goes to 83. I was supposed to finish the video a very, very long time ago, but we just got to it because I'm not going to lie, I've been lazy, and I have been dealing with my back thing that you guys know about. Fun fact, I've actually reached out to some PT, so that's going to get resolved, but we're continuing on with this. Yeah, but I'm gonna start saying it again. This was the most boring Sheffield I've ever watched. So many, like I said, so many storylines that didn't happen, all that kind of stuff. One big takeaway, I think, is that a lot of the athletes hyped up their performances because they knew what they're capable of in the gym. They didn't know what they were capable of, one, on the day, and two, in the meet. What I mean by that is they might have messed up their peak or something like that, or they just didn't train to the standards, I guess, to say the least, and they just kind of like didn't show up. They gave out, you know, they had this whole mentality eating them alive, and it definitely played into their performances. One of them is going to be Joe Bornstein. Personally, I think he talked a lot of game, and he kind of underdelivered, to say the least, but that's just me. That's just from a viewer perspective. But yeah, another thing, the rules were interesting. One of them being Meg's bench. If you guys watched Meg's bench, she got blue cards and red cards almost on every single lift. She almost bombed out on bench, but like all her benches look the same. We all know that she does that sync method, and it works out. She actually was, I would say she was the founder of it, and she basically like founded the whole sync method of not like cheating the rules, but altering them to benefit you the most, per se. And it was just some weird reffing. But yeah, it's just, to me, this was pretty boring. Like, I expected some bigger lifts. I expected a lot of things to come into fruition. I did think that Russ was going to win the 93s. If all you people that say I'm a Russ lover, I did think he was going to win, and then he just didn't deliver. That's it. But you know, that's just how it is. It's a meet at the end of the day. Perk is by far probably the greatest powerlifter of this generation. No one's coming close to him, and I mean no one is going to come close to him anytime soon. That's just how it is. But the women's again this year was super entertaining. Tiffany just coming out of nowhere with a 99 performance when France is usually doing like 5, 6, and 9s just because they like RP 10 their second attempts. It's kind of crazy. Alba, I think, is probably going to be the 63 force for a while too. She put on an insane performance, probably the craziest squat grind I've ever seen in my life. And it was cool seeing Amanda break some records after kind of being the same for a little bit, and kind of having a little bit of pressure this year, especially with, I forget her name, but the reserve of Sheffield. I'll just put a screenshot because I don't remember her name. But just the women's delivered again. It was more exciting. I was paying attention more to it than the men's. The men's was like, you know. The story, it also felt a little bit like someone was missing. And personally, if you want some of the best and strongest powerlifters, you need to have the strongest powerlifter of this generation, and that's being Jesus. I personally think that Jesus should have got the wild card over Gustav, just because of that fact, per se the least. I know he didn't total the world record, but you can't have a champion of champion meets if you're not going to have the champion of at least that weight class. So, personally, that's it. That's all I got. Women's way more entertaining. A lot. I think it was like top 8 or 7 went 100% or more over the world record, which is just fucking insane. So just a lot more value in the women's side. I'm gonna say it. The women's side is more entertaining. The men's got to kind of catch up. So yeah, but that's it. I mean, this is a pretty boring video, but we're gonna start off with a new one right after this. So if you guys enjoyed this video, my Sheffield hot takes, you know what to do. Get your protein in, strive for excellence, expect nothing. I'll see you in the next one.